young people of Initas. This is Neha here. It's been a long time I'm catching up with you all. I hope you all are well, your families are well, and you are doing a great, keeping creative, in this tough times. Yeah. So, how are you all? Hope well. I am okay, and I have made a small presentation, art theory presentation for you all to go through. I hope you find it informative and interesting. So, let's get started. Thank you.
Paul Cezanne is a 19th century French artist and a post-impressionist. Post-impressionism is one of the art movement, like we have various others such as Cubism, Surrealism, Renaissance, etc., occurring at different time and places in art history. We'll surely talk about post-impressionism, some other time. Moving on to the next slide. So Paul Cezanne is well known for three main genres, which includes portraits, landscapes, and still life. The title of this work is Artist Father. This is one of his very famous early works. His father wanted him to become a lawyer, but he went against his father's will to embark on his journey as an artist. This premise is suggested by the artist's inclusion of his own still life in the background, almost overshadowed by authoritative chair of his father, as though trying to solicit recognition of his talent by his disapproving parent. The title of this work is Madame Cezanne in Red Armchair. Cezanne's wife was his most frequent model. He painted nearly 30 portraits of her. This early portrait has a serene monumentality. Metropolitan Museum in New York organized a show titled Madame Cezanne featuring 29 portraits of her spanning 20 years of Cezanne's creative practice. Her expression in the painted portraits has been variously described as remote, inscrutable, dismissive, and even bored. He scared his sitters with his slow process. Maybe that's why such a bold expression of Madame Cezanne. He sometimes worked on the same picture for years, visiting and revisiting it. Moving on to landscapes, after his father's death and his continuous rejections in the Salon exhibit, he went back to his native Provence in South France, where he worked in solitude and at his own pace. Cezanne painted the Provençal countryside with its broad panoramic views. Often these are framed in branches, sometimes with architectural elements, but hardly with any human activity. Cezanne's landscapes were not painted in open air. He used to make sketches on the spot, but used to go back to his studio to make the final version, thus trying to capture the essence of the place. When talking about landscapes, one cannot miss out on his paintings on Mountain Saint Victor. He made around 30 pieces. The artist used a variety of media for creating numerous paintings, sketches, and watercolors of the mountain. So this kind of work with patchy brushstrokes influenced the modernists such as Picasso, Matisse, etc. is considered as a father or pioneer of modern art. Before moving on to his more celebrated genre, the still life, I would like to talk about one of his very famous work card players. By few critics, the figures are referred as human still life. Here, peasant figures, architectonic in form, are shown studiously playing cards, expression stone-faced and eyes cast down. One version of the card player was sold in 2011 to the royal family of Qatar for a price variously estimated at between $250 million and $300 million, making it one of the most expensive work of art ever. There are several viewpoints from which a spectator seems to observe the objects in the painting. You can see discontinuity in the horizon of the table, producing a complex and unstable image. Maybe he worked with objects such as onions, apples, etc., objects with larger shelf life because he used to work longer on a painting. There is a complete disregard to the sense of perspective, and the painting is not a representation of real space but kind of exploring complex viewpoints and color relations. This is Cezanne's studio in Provence. One can see an array of ceramics and vases as studio artifacts. His collection of objects to reinforce his desire to explore his surroundings through forms like triangles, squares, and conical forms.
So, yeah, guys, we are done with the presentation. I hope you enjoyed. See you all next time soon. Please take care till then, and thank you. Bye.